Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. After the newest Warzone meta update, we've actually seen some pretty interesting changes in what the fastest TTK weapons are in the game. There's a few options that may be a bit surprising with just how fast their time to kill can be. A few other ones that maybe you'd come to expect at this point in time. But today, wanted to go through and break down the new top 5 best TTK weapons and loadouts you should be using right now. Starting up first with one that is probably the highest skill gap weapon on the list here today, definitely one of them at least, the Goblin MK2. This thing has the potential, keyword potential, to be absolutely insane. As with a lot of semi-auto guns that are oftentimes featured on my best TTK videos, this has an insanely high skill gap because you have to be able to spam this thing basically as fast as you possibly can to try and hit that fire rate cap and maintain accuracy. And that's something that a lot of just average to even above average players don't do consistently, but really good players who spend the time, who focus on a gun like this, who commit to it, really can just have some insanely good matches with it. And it's really high risk, but also really high reward as well. All the stats here today, all the TTK values, courtesy of Community's combination shot TTK graph and chart, with the Goblin at 52 meters, like that's prime long range territory, 585 millisecond TTK. Utterly insane for that range. So with the setup here, especially with the Goblin, I feel like Gunfighter is absolutely worth running. You get a lot out of a lot of these different attachments. For the optic, it's really all preference. I like the Jason Armory 2 times. I've used the Willis 3 times here. I've used Otoro Red Dot here. If there's a certain scope you love, go ahead, rock that, whatever you're accurate with, really. Monolithic suppressor, obviously for that better velocity and range and to keep us off the radar as we're firing. Reinforced barrel doubling up on that damage and velocity as well, or that range and velocity, I should say. 1131 velocity is pretty solid for that hit scan range, and a 60 meter effective damage range is crazy as well there. I do use the precision foregrip on here. Helps out some with horizontal control, which is obviously a big deal. As you're spamming, it's going to be less bouncy there. But then some aiming idle sway, which is always a nice thing to have, especially on semi-auto guns. So a little bit of the best of both worlds scenario there. Extended mag 2, pretty straightforward here, 50 rounder, so you can just spray and pray there. You don't have to worry too much about running out of ammo in the middle of spamming this gun as fast as you can, of course. Quick draw rear grip, might as well make things a little bit more agile and aggressive here with that better ADS speed. Never a bad option by any means. I actually use the combat stock here, which I rarely use on anything, but the better flinch resistance you have here is huge because you need to stay on target, especially if you're in a gunfight. And then you get some better strafe speed too, which I absolutely love. You guys know I usually spam infiltrator stock. You're essentially getting similar strafe here, but also added flinch resistance, which is huge. And then rapid fire, when it's not broken for fully auto guns like it was back at the start of season 5, only hurts the control here instead of the damage like it does on full auto guns. So huge, because you can get a better fire rate, which means you can get potentially an even faster TTK value there. So this thing is difficult to use. It's difficult to master for a reason, because you can absolutely melt with this thing if you know what you're doing. Next up here, we've got the Raal MG. Yes, an MW2 LMG is one of the fastest TTK options in the game because of its aftermarket part, the Jack Proteon kit. This thing in full auto, it certainly has some noticeable recoil. So again, it's something you really have to get used to and get comfortable with. Spend some time in the firing range, in plunder, in whatever, learning the recoil pattern so you can predict it and make the minimal recoil adjustment there to make sure you are staying on target over range, because at 40 meters, a 545 millisecond TTK, this thing can be nuts as well. It just does take that time to learn that pattern, to really master it so you know how it behaves. It is an LMG, of course, so it's slow, it's heavy, it's not nearly as aggressive as some other options, but it's a nice change up from the Black Ops 6 weapon spam, and it can be super rewarding at the same time. I really wish we could rock 8 attachments here. It'd be very valuable to have more than 5, but with 5 we can make it work. Obviously, as mentioned, the most important part of this entire setup is this Jack Proteon kit, so you have to have that on there. Beyond that, I do go for the 2.5 times Eagle Eye optic, again just a matter of preference. If there's a different one you like more, feel free to go ahead and use that. Spirit fire suppressor for better range and velocity. We do only have a 923 velocity. It's a little bit on the lower end for what I like for mid to long range guns, but it's what you got to work with here. So we do rock that, nearly a 44 meter effective damage range. I go for the 100 round belt mag. If I'm using this in semi-auto where it's still solid, I'd go for a 50, but the best TTK comes in the form of full auto, and that's where we got the 100 rounds to just spray and pray, of course. And then lastly, Demo H40 stock, just for some added control here, as firing aim stability as well, very important on MW2 and MW3 guns. Like I said, I really wish we could rock, you know, an ammo upgrade here for better velocity and range, a rear grip for some mobility, but with 5 attachments, this will get the job done. And by the way, as we are going through all the weapons and loadouts here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. It's always really appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to ensure you're always up to date with everything going on in COD, no better place than right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up here, this one's a little bit less surprising, but the FFAR. This thing has been a beast for a hot minute now, and I'm not complaining. This gun is a ton of fun. At 35 meters, prime like mid-range, heading into that long range there, 576 millisecond TTK. This thing's a do-it-all rifle as well. You could use this close range, mid-range, long range if you can stay accurate with it, and it's gonna melt at all ranges. It's absolutely the most versatile gun in the entire game here. So again, I'm rocking gunfighter here. Why not, right? Volsky reflex on here, simply again a matter of preference there. I do use the compensator as opposed to monolithic here just for the accuracy. This thing has noticeable control, especially as you get out to 35, 45, 55 plus meters here. If you're playing more range with it, you're gonna want that added accuracy on there for sure. Reinforced barrel gives us a 1087 velocity, so that's sufficient. Then nearly a 55 meter effective damage range. Vertical foregrip to help make that pattern a lot more predictable with the recoil there, helping out horizontally. Extended to a 60 rounder, that's the largest we've got, so that'll work fine for all squad sizes. I do go a little bit more aggressive here with gunfighter on here. Obviously helps out a lot in the mid range and even the close range when you can have quick draw and infiltrator on here. Quick draw for that better ADS, and then infiltrator for that better strafe on there too. So the thing's just a lot more agile and aggressive. And then lastly, recoil springs, never a bad option on any gun in the game. Just free recoil control. You can make the gun easier. You absolutely should do so where you can. So this thing, honestly, especially with this setup on here, really straightforward. You can absolutely learn this pattern very quickly and then just fry everyone. Next up, I was actually kind of surprised by this one when I was doing some stat checking to see if there were any unique options. The AEK 973. We really haven't talked about this gun much at all this year, but when you use the full auto mod on this thing, it completely changes the viability of this gun. It was all right as a burst rifle, like it's not anything crazy as a marksman or anything. Full auto kind of goes crazy. At 49 meters, a 603 millisecond TTK. That's really solid for that range with a full auto gun, mind you. Now, when you do use the full auto conversion kit or the mod here, the most important part of the setup, the recoil is noticeably different. There is a lot of vertical recoil. Now, it's mostly a straight vertical pattern, but it's noticeable. So you do probably have to work some and learn that pattern a little bit, but it's not something that's difficult to learn by any means. So full auto mod on there. Again, any optic you feel comfortable with. Compensator here is huge for that added vertical control, of course, so that's a no-brainer. Reinforced barrel, we do end up with a 1075 velocity and nearly a 52 meter effective damage range, so both of those values are pretty solid there. Just to ensure there's no horizontal bounce, it's basically just a straight vertical pattern. I do rock vertical foregrip on there. You only get one extended mag option. Luckily, it's a 60, so that's going to work fine for all squad sizes. No concerns there. And then again, just with gunfire to optimize things, why not get a faster ADS with quick draw? And then you guys know I love my infiltrator stock for that better strafe speed. Just help make the gun feel a little bit more agile when you are in gunfights there. Really unique weapon, one that hasn't had a ton of time in the spotlight, but it can fry if you know what you're doing. And then lastly, I felt it only right to start the video off with a semi-auto beast and end it with a semi-auto beast, the MCW 6.8. Again, slightly higher skill gap here. You can really spam this thing though. It's got you know, a big safety net with its extended magazine on here. So for semi-auto guns, this is one that I personally don't find too much trouble using. It's really fun, crazy good hit scan range at 65 meters, 680 millisecond TTK. Really solid there as well. This thing can absolutely melt once more if you're able to spam fast and stay on target. And if you can't, that's fine. There are other good full auto options, but part of having the fastest TTKs are usually those higher skill gaps in place, those higher entry barriers, and it's not weapons that everyone universally can just pick up and fry with right away. With weapons like this, you might have to put in some extra time and effort. First up though, I do go for the 2.5 times choreo, yet again the eagle eye on there. Spirit fire suppressor keeps us off the radar, of course. Better range, better velocity. Crown 30 barrel, better control, better range, better velocity, better firing aim stability. This thing's doing it all. I love the Crown 30 barrel on there. I also go for the Spire Point rounds, which help out with velocity and range. They did nerf these some. This used to give you like an absurd boost to your velocity. It's still helping out some with range and velo though. 1300 velocity. That hit scan range is phenomenal. And then a 53 meter effective damage range, also super effective there. And then lastly, the 60 round extended mag. Most semi-auto guns will not have extended mags this large. This is fantastic though, because if you're not hitting every single shot but you're still spamming fast, you can spray and pray, not have to worry, oh, in 20 shots I'm reloading, in 30 shots I'm reloading. You got 60 to work with here, so that's obviously fantastic there. This was a fun little list to go through. Quite frankly, usually the top 5 TTK is kind of the same stuff back and forth. This update did change things around a little bit, and it's nice to see some new fresh faces here in terms of what's going to be killing the fastest in game, of course dependent on your accuracy above everything there. But that is going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.